Hello， 大家好。今日咧好高興咧邀請咗阿 Robert 咧 ，co-founder of ERE Property， 同大家介紹下咧 Manchester。Thank you, Robert, for joining us today. And today you're going to talk to us about Manchester.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. Manchester is a fantastic city that a lot of people in Hong Kong have heard about on the back of the football team. Being a Yorkshireman, I tend not to dwell on that too much, but it's a fantastic city with large university, major corporation, and of course we've got the BBC that have moved out of London to meet this city.
其實咧，好多香港人都聽過 Manchester 㗎啦。咁其實就唔淨止因為呢個足球隊啦，其實咧亦都係好多香港人都可能係去過 Manchester 嘅大學啦、畢業啦。咁所以呢個城市咧，對於你哋嚟講都已經有啲認識㗎啦。咁今日咧，我哋都會係同大家講下呢4個項目嘅關於呢個城市。So Robert, tell us something about the area, Manchester.
Thank you. Well, it's a huge area. It's the sort of area of the Greater Manchester with over 2.7 million people. It's got 2 major universities. It's got major companies such as Amazon, Microsoft. The BBC are there as well, as we've dwelled on before. But huge amount of young professional market, big Chinese community as well. And of course, it's got the only, when we can fly again, direct flights from Hong Kong to Manchester.
It's a full flight.
Yeah, I used to do it every day. I did it for 5 years, every 2 weeks. Wow. So they're flying every day now, which is tremendous when we can fly again. So it's got an awful lot going for it. It's the only airport in the UK out of London that does direct flights to Hong Kong.
They say Manchester is a northern powerhouse. What do they mean by that?
Yeah, it's one of the major cities outside of London that is really moving forward with major companies and major employers in the area. So Manchester really was the first city in the north of England out of London to really attract major companies out of London. We're seeing a lot of accountancy practices, law firms, always got London and Manchester. So yes, it's a very important city in the UK.
咁啊 ，Manchester 咧，其實咧都屬於係一個英國嘅最綠色嘅城市啦，亦都係佢長個經濟咧係長得好快嘅，亦都好多人而家喺呢個城市住啦。因為咧亦都好多大嘅公司咧喺嗰度set up 咗佢哋嘅 office 嘅，例如咧 Amazon 啦，BBC 都搬咗上去啦，幾年前啦。咁所以咧成個城市都係好活躍，再加上咧個城市亦都本身係有2間大學，附近仲有幾間大學，所以咧成個 population 都係一路咧都係增長緊嘅。It's in the north. We know that.
It is indeed.
But how far is it from everywhere else?
Yeah, indeed. Very well connected. So, I know Manchester extremely well. London is about an hour and 40 minutes away. Leeds is about an hour away. So it's very well connected. Got a great motorway network as well, so you can get around in the car. So, yeah, the airport is one of the biggest international airports out of London. So I think for connectivity, Manchester is really up there. It's one of the major cities.
And it's not too far away from the Lake District as well.
No, indeed. We've got a tremendous opportunity there. It's about a 45-minute drive to the Lake District, which is huge open area and picturesque. And people find that they can escape the city and have a bit of fresh air and hiking and enjoy the country life.
And best of all, Manchester has a lot of Chinese food, right?
Yes, indeed. It has. Chinatown, the centre of Manchester, is very popular. And there's a huge Chinese population in the city, which is very nice to see.
I remember 2 years ago when I went to Manchester, the first thing was when I arrived, I only saw Chinese people.
Yeah, indeed.
That's amazing. Back in Hong Kong.
Yeah. Well, I used to take the fortnightly flight from Hong Kong to Manchester. I was one of the only guilos on the plane because the rest were Chinese people going back to university or visiting friends and family. So it's very nice.
Let's talk about education and employment in Manchester.
Yeah, it's got 5 universities in the city of Manchester with over 100,000 students, which is tremendous. It's got some very good schools as well in the sort of Greater Manchester area. And it's just also a hub for digital media and new talent. So it's very much a fast-moving city out of London.
嗱，我哋聽過啦，Manchester 一個有 Media City 啦 ，BBC 喺度啦，咁亦都咧英國頭嗰100間公司咧，有80間咧都喺 Manchester 嘅。其實有好多投資發生緊喺呢個城市，再加上咧，因為佢有5間大學，超過咧10萬個學生咧，好多時啲學生係喺嗰度畢咗業之後咧，都大部分咧都係喺翻嗰個城市度去揾工做嘅。Price. I know once upon a time you could get a property in Manchester for under £100,000.
Indeed. It was a long time ago. You're older than you look, actually, Michael. But now prices are very much on the up. You know, we are seeing in the norm the average about 200,000. But it is commonplace for properties in Manchester to be upwards of £300,000-400,000. It's a very good opportunity. There's some significant growth there. But I think the main opportunity in Manchester, from what we realise, is that it is in that mid-range, about the £200,000-250,000 mark, where there's more swathe of the population that can afford to buy that. We see that's where the biggest growth will be.
With so much supply in Manchester right now, do you really need to have the right connections, the right know-how to be able to pick the right flat or investment?
Yeah, it's a very good point. We actually manage over 300 apartments in Manchester, and the market is very strong. But again, it's strong at that mid-level, at that £200,000-250,000 bracket. So really, it's proximity to the city centre, and it's around that sort of price, with rents around about £1,200 a month, which is very affordable. So yes, pick the areas right, connectivity to city centre, the price in the mid-range, and there'll be a very strong occupancy there.
其實咧，就個價格咧都一路係上升緊㗎啦，亦都好難去翻以前咧10萬磅樓下已經可以買到一層新樓喺 Manchester。咁亦都咧，你可以話而家嗰個 supply 咧都唔少，所以咧更加咧就要識得揀啱嘅物業咧去投資。咁啱啱阿 Robert 講到咧，就係而家嗰個price point 咧，大約25萬磅咧，係一個幾好嘅價去考慮嘅。如果你係想投資喺 Manchester。Thank you, Robert.
Thank you. It's been nice to be here. Thanks, Alan.